So I walk in the house, and that's when I see all the paraphernalia on the table, some with peanut butter.
So I stroll in the house, and that is the point at which I see all the stuff on the table, some with peanut butter. And I'm similar to hello, greetings, mama, I like you. Okay, and he was like, definitely, and I'm similar to what's going on, nothing, and afterward, he inquired as to why his father was by, and large, so mean individuals who understand what's happening in my bed, they understand what in blazes happening with my bed, and what on earth I do in it that ain't a great fit for everyone on the web that ain't. For no web journals that ain't for no sites. I don't got to let no one know where I put my wood at Dwight Howard Zach and mother of his child Royce Reed just dropped a significant stunner and uncovered that during the coronavirus quarantine Dwight coordinated v oddity offs at his home, and his child Brillin saw all that now a couple of years back and appointed authority requested Brillin to avoid all kids more youthful than him since he was gotten improperly contacting somebody and fans are currently saying it seems like Brillin was replicating what he saw at Dwight parties his child made her sweetheart's child Kim off definitely unseemly unfortunate behavior of a digger or something to that effect is charged definitely I'm only inquisitive regarding where the son might have gotten it from cuz that is ruthless conduct. The entire situation sounds revolting as well as unlawful, and Roy said she's thinking about recording a claim against Dwight very much like Cassie did with Diddy discussing. Diddy tales as of late sprung up that Diddy and Dwight used to party together, and clearly Diddy felt weak at the knees over Dwight for quite a while. Yet there's much more that Royce Reed uncovered, so we should separate it all. We wound up going to court, and I had a video of Brillin covering his face since he was saying the way that individuals were blowing smoke right in front of him, how Daddy's companions seemed to be zombies at the lower part of the steps. Daddy acts strange when we assumed we heard everything about how wiped out media outlets is Dwight Howard's demonstration. Royce Reed joined the talk and uncovered she saw Dwight having an oddity off meeting before his young child. To give you some setting, back in October Dwight affirmed he's been connecting with men after his supposed casualties. Stephen Harper documented a claim guaranteeing Dwight him and constrained him into a trio with a trans individual named Kitty. Dwight conceded that he's Stephen and Kitty, all attached at his home. Anyway, he asserted the whole experience was consensual. Dwight likewise posted a video tending to the claims. Anyway, he disregarded the claim and affirmed saying on second thought hammered fans for being meddling that ain't no one business where I put my you all unusual. If you have any desire to understand what individuals doing in their room and who they screwing with and laying down with you are odd. You're the bizarre one. Gracious shoot, you all caught wind of that Dwight. They said White was it. An instant message, tragically, it's actual. The in-a-person web was more keen on making images about Dwight's sexuality than zeroing in on these intense charges, yet presently, it turns out these claims are much more upsetting than we naturally suspected on the grounds that Dwight's ex Royce Reed uncovered that Dwight was losing freak parties while his child Brillin was in the house. Royce, as of late, showed up on Vlad television and uncovered that during the co-lockdown when most of us lacked the ability to see relatives in clinic, Dwight was tossing wild gatherings at his home with each pronoun. There were a ton of gatherings, and we should be on isolation. So that was an issue in itself, since who are these individuals? What are they doing here? Have they been tried? You're saying that world is finishing, yet you're welcoming the world over. And it was a wide range of individuals. Each pronoun was there. Royce was remaining at the visitor house, and she reviewed how one time she awakened Ed from arrest to find the fundamental house brimming with individuals doing a wide range of detestable things. I felt like I was in an episode of something, since its kin hurling over the gallery, like you got others reviling each other out, calling one another, and afterward, I'm staying here first. Things subsequent to seeing this is where's my kid. Roy overreacted when she saw a table of what was likely substance standard finia and peanut butter. She then asked Dwight where his child was. Nevertheless, Dwight seemed like he can't muster the energy to care in the house. I see him even before I stroll in the house. What's going on? Where's Brian? I don't have the foggiest idea about. He's someplace genuinely. So I stroll in the house, and that is the point at which I see all the gear on the table. Some with peanut butter, and I lose it, and afterward, gracious, and afterwards, there's a young lady who just peed in a seat, and afterward, as I couldn't say whether Kitty was there, I could have met Kitty. I don't know. I met a ton while I was there. Roy at last found Berlin. who told her he went down the stairs to get a tidbit and inquired as to why his father was overall so mean. Like, you okay? He was like, better believe it. And I'm similar to what's going on. Nothing. And I'm similar to what's going on, nothing. And I needed to continue to ask him, and afterward, he at long last let me know that he went down the stairs to grab a bite. He needed a bite, and I recall that I snatched him in. Resembling, did you take anything off that table? And he swore no yet. I asked him so often in light of the fact that I really wanted it to be repeated, like so often to me, and he just swore no, and afterward he asked what it was, and afterward he resembled he needed some peanut butter, and afterward he inquired as to why his father was so mean. As per Roy, one of the men she saw celebrating with Dwight was polygamous powerhouse Kevin Wesley. Roy said this large number of individuals appeared to be totally off the wall, and one of Dwight's companions even took steps to shoot up the entire house. And that is the point at which she understood she needed to take her child and leave, and afterward his companion at that point. See, I recollect him like going off on him, and afterward, I even recall the following day him taking steps to shoot up the whole house due to some gay. I didn't have any idea what that gay was. Nevertheless, I realized I expected to get up out of there, and it transformed into this Mo's gigantic contention. He was undermining me. His face had gotten like I could see he was on something, yet I realized I expected to leave. And you know, one of his the folks that used to work for him? I think he was his mentor. He was truly there. He went cider and he watched it, and he was in any event attempting to inspire him to quiet down. Yet that is the point at which I realized I needed to pack my up, and we got to escape this house since it's getting truly hazardous us and foolish. And we left 3:30 in morning. 3:34 as per Royce. Dwight compromised her and attempted to prevent her from leaving anyway. Royce realized she needed to proceed to eliminate her child from that house, and I'm like, I got to leave since this is kid danger. And as though this wasn't upsetting sufficient, a report as of late surfaced that Berline was taken part in unseemly direct with one more kid, which drove Roy getting captured on a kid disregard charge in Walk 2022. The Shade Room got court reports expressing that Berline had a past filled with unseemly lead, including one occurrence where he supposedly constrained the child of Roy's sweetheart to play out a demonstration while the two young men were at Royce's home. As per the records, the specialist talked with Berline, and he let them know that outrage triggers him into carrying on physically. Berline was taboo by specialists to have any lead with minors at least 2 years more youthful than him, and as per the court report, the child of Roy's beau falls in that classification. Roy tended to this occurrence in her new meeting with Vlad and said she truly figured out something improper was occurring 2 years earlier, and she reached an advisor who was then obliged by regulation to report it to the specialist there, a circumstance where you capture and accused of kid disregard may so. What precisely occurred? So I truly figured out a few data that had occurred around 2 years earlier, and I called the specialist and I detailed it. Since specialists are ordered correspondence, it transformed into me getting accused of kid dismisses, yet I'm the person who settled on the telephone decision. I'm the person who basically got out whatever occurred, yet it deteriorates. As per Roy, she's been revealing improper things since Brilling was a child anyway. An adjudicator who we can accept for a moment that was paid off by Dwight undermined her and said he'd take Berlin away. I've announced a few circumstances. I've been announcing that unseemly things are occurring with my child since Berlin was a child, and I saw it rapidly. As a mother, I'm exceptionally involved, and you realize I saw everything, and it began with him sitting in my entryway hitting himself, and afterward, he began contacting himself, entertaining. Oh, we wound up going to court, and I had a video of Berlin covering his face since he was saying the way that individuals were blowing smoke in front of him, how daddy's companions seemed to be zombies at the lower part of the step. Some daddy acts odd. And like I said, I went to court and I was compromised by Judge Shea, assuming I made any kind of allegation like that again, that he would take Berlin from me and I would lose guardianship. My mother was in court with me. That day I got up, I reviled that appointed authority out. I relieved out Man DS, which was his lawyer, and I left that court. He said he planned to censor me talking about men who purportedly pay others to conceal their wrongdoings. Reports are circling that Di and Dwight used to crack off together, and Diddy supposedly became intrigued by Dwight after he coordinated an all-star NBA game back in 2014 named Diddy's Valentine's Day top pick tip-off. In those days, Then vocalist TQ shared a photograph advancing this occasion, and for reasons unknown, he just labeled